Yesterday, February 10th, 2026, something happened. Something I thought I was prepared for, but I wasn't. Something that stopped me completely. Something that reminded me exactly why everything I shared in part one wasn't just content, it was survival. I'm not ready to tell that story yet, but I will. And when I do, you'll understand why these 5 habits aren't theory to me. They're the reason I'm still standing. So if you're here, if you found part one and something in it stayed with you, know this: that wasn't an accident. Something in you was already paying attention before you even press play. Maybe you recognize yourself in the stillness. Maybe you felt the weight of days you survived but never really understood. Maybe you just needed someone to say, your inner life is worth tending to. Part one was about beginning. This is about going deeper. We covered the first 3 habits: the evening reflection, the obstacle log, and the gratitude inventory. Each one asks something different of you. Each one gives something back. But these final 2, these are the ones that completely change how I see myself. Not just what I do, but who I'm becoming. And maybe more importantly, who I've chosen to stop being. Habit 4 is about fear. Not eliminating it, not pretending it doesn't exist, but sitting directly across from it, looking it in the eye and asking it to prove itself. Habit 5 is about identity, about understanding that you are not your past, that you are not the story someone else wrote about you in childhood, in failure, and someone else's opinion of who you should be. That right now, with this breath, with this pen, you are the author. If you're ready to go deeper, stay with me. Let's finish what we started. The gratitude inventory doesn't erase your problems. It doesn't make hard things easy, but it gives you balance when life feels heavy. When everything seems dark, you have this practice, this anchor, this reminder that even in struggle, there is still good. Even in pain, there is still beauty. And even in loss, there is still love. Your journal becomes a testament to your life's richness. On hard days, you can flip back through pages and pages of proof that your life contains blessings, that you have reasons to keep going. 3 things every morning, specific and felt. That's all it takes to slowly, gently, powerfully shift your entire relationship with your life. From complaint to celebration, from taking to treasuring. Appreciation is a choice you make every single day. Number 4, the fear interrogation. Meeting your anxiety with questions, not surrender. Fear lies to you every single day. It tells you that you're not ready, that you'll fail, that people will judge you, that the worst will definitely happen. And most of us believe these lies without question. We let fear sit in the driver's seat of our lives, taking us further and further from who we want to be. Over time, I realized that I have a different relationship with fear. I don't try to eliminate it. I don't pretend to be fearless. I interrogate it. I question it. I looked it straight in the eye and asked, is this true, or is this just a story? Seneca, in Letters from a Stoic, Letter 13, on groundless fears, wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Read that again. Most of your suffering isn't happening in your actual life. It's happening in your mind, in the terrible futures you create, in the catastrophes you rehearse over and over. You're torturing yourself with things that haven't happened and might never happen. The fear interrogation is where you take back your power. It's where you stop being a victim of your anxious thoughts and become an investigator of them. Here's how it works. When fear shows up, when anxiety grips your chest, when worry keeps you awake, you don't push it away. You don't fight it. You write it down. You pull it out of the shadows and into the light of the page. You write, "I am afraid that," and you finish the sentence. Be brutally honest. I am afraid that my son will lose the admiration he has for me. I am afraid that I'm not good enough at my job. Just writing it down takes away some of its power. Fear thrives in darkness. It grows bigger and scarier when it's unnamed. But when you name it, when you see it in ink on paper, it becomes smaller, more manageable, more real. Then comes the interrogation. You ask your fear 4 questions. Question 1, is this fear based on facts or feelings? Most of our fears are feelings masquerading as facts. Everyone will laugh at me feels true, but is it factual? Has everyone you've ever met actually laughed at you? Or is this an exaggeration your anxious mind created? Facts can be examined. Feelings, while valid, aren't always accurate. Question 2, what's the actual worst that could happen? Not the catastrophic fantasy version, the real version. Yes, you might fail. Yes, it might be uncomfortable. Yes, someone might criticize you. But will you die? Will you lose everything? Or will you survive, learn, and move forward? Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that even the worst outcomes were survivable, that he was stronger than he believed. Question 3, if the worst happens, how would I handle it? This is where you take your power back. You make a plan. If I lose my job, I will update my resume, reach out to my network, and apply to new positions. I have savings for 3 months. I have skills. I have survived hard things before. Suddenly, the fear has less grip because you have a response ready. Question 4, what am I missing out on by letting this fear control me? This is the question that changes everything, because fear has a cost. Every time you say no to an opportunity because you're scared, you're saying no to growth. Every time you stay silent because you're afraid of judgment, you're silencing your truth. Every time you play small because you're worried about failure, you're guaranteeing that you'll never discover what you're capable of. Think about the times you've been absolutely terrified of something. A presentation, a difficult conversation, a big decision, and then you did it anyway. And afterward, you realize it wasn't as bad as your mind made it seem. Your fear was a liar, but you only discovered that by moving through it. The fear interrogation doesn't make you fearless. It makes you wise. It teaches you to distinguish between real danger and imagined danger, between legitimate caution and limiting beliefs, between protection and prison. Your journal becomes the courtroom where fear has to defend itself. And most of the time, when you really examine it, fear has no case. It's just noise. It's just old programming. It's just the part of you that wants to keep you safe by keeping you small. But you weren't born to be small. You were born to grow, to risk, to try, to fail, and rise and try again. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action in the presence of fear. It's moving forward even when your hands shake. Every time you interrogate your fear instead of obeying it, you become braver. Not because the fear disappears, but because you stop letting it decide for you. If you're ready to stop running, write this: I am braver than my fears. Number 5, the identity architect. Writing who you're becoming, not just who you've been. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the person you were yesterday. You are the person you're choosing to become right now, in this moment, with this breath, with this decision. Marcus Aurelius understood something that modern psychology is only now confirming. Identity is not fixed. It's not carved in stone. It's written in pencil, and you're holding the eraser and the pen. He wrote in his meditations, Such as are your habitual thoughts, such also will be the character of your mind. For the soul is dyed by the thoughts. Your thoughts shape you, your beliefs create you. The story you tell yourself about yourself becomes your reality. And most people are walking around with a story they didn't even write. A story written by their childhood wounds, their past failures, their critics, their fears. The identity architect practice is where you become the author of your own story, where you intentionally design who you're becoming instead of accidentally repeating who you've been. Here's how it works. Once a week, you sit with your journal and you write about your future self. Not in some distant, vague someday, but the version of you that's emerging right now. The version you're building with each small choice. You write in present tense, as if it's already true. I am someone who keeps my word to myself. I am someone who faces difficulty with calm. I am someone who speaks truth even when it's uncomfortable. I am someone who treats my body with respect. I am someone who shows up for the people I love. This isn't fake positivity. This isn't lying to yourself. This is declaring your intention. This is planting seeds in the soil of your subconscious mind. Metacognitive awareness. Awareness of one's own thoughts as thoughts, not facts. You're focusing your mind on who you're becoming so powerfully that your actions start to align. But here's the crucial part. After you write your identity statements, you write the evidence. You ask yourself, how did I prove this week that I'm becoming this person? And you list specific moments, small moments, real moments. Maybe you said you're someone who's disciplined, and this week you woke up early 3 times, even though you wanted to sleep in. That's evidence. Maybe you said you're someone who's kind, and this week you checked on a friend who was struggling. That's evidence. Maybe you said you're someone who's brave, and this week you had that hard conversation you'd been avoiding. That's evidence. These small proofs accumulate. They build a case in your own mind that you are who you say you are. And slowly, the gap between who you are and who you want to be starts to close. In fact, we become what we practice. If you want to be a YouTuber, upload your videos. If you want a journal, simply write virtue. You don't wait until you feel like the person you want to be. You act like that person, and the feelings follow. The identity forms around the action. In 2026, we're obsessed with finding ourselves. But I have noticed something different. You barely find yourself. Instead, you create yourself. Every choice is a brushstroke. Every action is a word in the story. Every moment is an opportunity to author the next chapter. Think about the labels you've accepted. I'm just an anxious person. I'm not good with money. I'm terrible at relationships. I'm not creative. These aren't truths. These are stories, and stories can be rewritten. The identity architect practice gives you permission to let go of old identities that no longer serve you, to shed the skin of who you were forced to be and step into who you're choosing to become. It's liberation. It's transformation. It's rebirth, written one journal entry at a time. You also write about the person you're leaving behind. I am no longer someone who shrinks to make others comfortable. I am no longer someone who sacrifices my peace for others' approval. I am no longer someone who lives in the past. This is just as powerful as declaring who you're becoming. You're closing doors that need to be closed. Marcus Aurelius was born into power, but he wasn't born wise. He became wise through daily practice, through writing, through choosing again and again to be the person he respected. He wrote to remind himself, to guide himself, to build himself. Your journal is your construction site. Every entry is a brick. Every word is a choice. Every page is a declaration. You're not just recording your life, you're designing it. The most powerful thing you can do is decide who you want to be, and then show up as that person before you feel ready, before you feel worthy, before you feel confident. You act and the identity follows. You are the architect. Your life is the blueprint. Your choices are the foundation. Build something beautiful. Build something true. Build someone you're proud to be. If you're taking your power back today, write this: I choose who I become. You've made it to the end, and that means something. It means you're serious about change. It means you're ready to do the work that most people avoid. It means you understand that wisdom isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you build, one honest word at a time. These 5 journaling habits aren't magic. They won't fix everything overnight, but they will do something more valuable. They'll give you a practice, a refuge, a way to meet yourself with honesty and compassion every single day. The evening reflection teaches you to learn from your days. The obstacle log transforms your problems into wisdom. The gratitude inventory opens your eyes to the wealth you already hold. The fear interrogation frees you from the lies anxiety tells. The identity architect empowers you to become who you're meant to be. Marcus Aurelius left one final reminder: waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for permission. Your journal is waiting. Your transformation is waiting. Your life is waiting. 10 minutes a day. That's all it takes. 10 minutes to check in with yourself, to honor your journey, to build the mind and life you truly want. A few years ago, I journaled because I realized that navigating through life is truly complex, but I refused to waste my struggles. I turned pain into training grounds for growth, obstacles into opportunities, fear into freedom. You can do the same, starting today, starting right now. Go pick up your pen and begin, or get straight to your note app. Write this and make it real. I write my way to growth.